Question time. Hey Konu, can you tell us some stories about your track on Anyone, how it came to be, how you connected with Wood? I'll try to keep this short and to the point as much as possible. I used to work at Circuit City in the warehouse in Concord off of Diamond Boulevard. Now it is Seafood City. At that time, I was in the warehouse and there was only one other person in there from Pittsburg, and he happened to be friends with Wood. He knew I rapped. I forgot how he found out I rapped, but anyway, long story short, he wanted to connect me with Wood because he knew he was working on Northern Expozure already. I didn't know anybody else from the camp. I had never heard of anything going on in Antioch at that time. We didn't even know Antioch had rappers back then, to be honest with you. I mean, mind you, there wasn't many rappers out of Pittsburgh either, so it just wasn't that known. I mean, the only rappers I knew at that time out of the area were, I guess you could say, the mob figures, and I only knew that it's because I was in school with a lot of them. So that's the only reason I knew that. So anyway, back to Wood. The homie I was telling you about that I work with at Circuit City, we both like 3 6 Mafia at that time. So a lot of how we ride was definitely inspired by 3 6 Mafia, because, you know, we were into that type of shit back then. And specifically the song Tear the Club Up and Bet You Won't Hit It, that one. And anyway, I don't remember exactly how my first time meeting. I know when I first met Wood, we definitely hit it off musically, because we always would get into conversations about music. But the first time that I met him, we got straight to work. So I had maybe a week to prepare the song, and I already wrote the song, and I made the first beat. So when I first went over to Wood's house, I had the beat, and he replayed it on his Alesis. He had the Alesis, he had the VS-880, and I don't know what software he was using at that time, nor do I know what type of mic he had. But yeah, he replayed the beat and he made his own beat around it. So I had the scratch track, but he made the actual beat to the song. So he gave me a copy of that. I went back home and I refined it. So maybe I didn't have the hook at that time, but whatever it was, I went back, I refined it. A week later, I came back, dropped the vocals. When I dropped the vocals, yeah, come to think of it, Wood had bearded dragons, the lizards, and he had to keep turning off the cage light because it made a buzz sound. And also, that VS-880 that he recorded me on, that's the first time I had ever heard about compression. I didn't know what the fuck compression was back then, but he would ask, like, do you want to compress your vocals or not compress your vocals? I don't know what that means, bro. So he basically explained it as like, do you want it more squished and even, or do you want it more raw and open? I don't remember what I said, but whatever it was, that's how it turned out. And yeah, back to the VS-880. That is the reason why I ended up buying the VS-840, which is the lesser, cheaper version of the VS-880, which is a digital audio recording station. That's why I got it, is because of his VS-880. So after that was done, let me see, maybe another week after that, I don't know about the time frame, but another week after that, the sound was completely different. Matter of fact, my homie, he was just like, yeah, he changed it a lot. It was more, I'm glad he did it because that's what it turned out to be. He added the shotgun, he added his ad-libs, the background vocals, he did all that. I don't even know what the original sounded like anymore, but that's how you got How We Ride. And when it came out, it was crazy. Now, mind you, the reason why my name is not on the cover is because there was some miscommunication or somebody made a mistake. I don't remember, but he did call me and tell me that it wasn't on the cover. And but I have the picture inside if you have the original Northern Expozure, I do have my picture and I'm still in the credits. But I don't know, somehow they messed it up and I wasn't on the cover. I wasn't tripping. I was like, whatever. Matter of fact, I didn't even realize that song and that album was gonna do what it did until like later. Cause what was it? Came out in 99. As usual, I came back here, and so I was out of touch with all that. I didn't know what the album was doing until later on. So, you know, it's crazy because, I mean, I never really got to talk to anybody about what they thought that project was gonna do or what it was gonna become. I was in a whole different zone. I had already started diving into reggae and island music and wasn't doing that kind of rap anymore. But yeah. So that's the gist of how We Ride came about. I could dive into lyrics later or something, but that's how the song was created. And yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Any more questions on that subject, drop them in the comments.